All right, before we get started, I mean, obviously, this is going to be one of the biggest things of the decade. Like, I get that, but hear me out. We're now kind of in the not E3 time of year with the Sony State of Play having just aired as I'm recording this, and opening night of Summer Game Fest in a couple days, and the Xbox presentation and whatnot. So, we are now deep in what used to be E3. Like, what used to take place over the course of 3 days now takes place over the course of like 3 weeks, and it's kind of exhausting and not as fun, in my opinion. But anyway, one of the big takeaways, and I'm not, you know, I'm by far the first person to say this. It's kind of what's on everybody's lips, is that with the release dates revealed at the Sony State of Play, it became crystal clear just how terrified game developers are, and I guess publishers probably more than developers, of Grand Theft Auto 6, and just wanting to get as far out of that November window as possible. Uh, and it got me thinking, and actually I've been thinking about this even before all these release dates hit, where it's like there's like, I don't know, what, 10, 12 big games, like high profile games that are slated to come out in September as of right now. But I've been thinking a lot about Grand Theft Auto 6 because, yeah, on one hand, it's the next Grand Theft Auto. It's going to be fucking massive. But on the other hand, and maybe this is just like indicative of our social media bubbles, but I don't see a lot of excitement for GTA 6 in my corner of the internet. And I'm in different corners of the internet. I don't just stay on one platform, but it really feels like considering that it's pretty soon, there's not really a lot of anticipation or excitement. It's more of like an inevitability, and like, yeah, I mean, I guess like I mean, I'm going to play it. Like, I mean, that's honestly my opinion, right? If I didn't host a podcast where I try to stay on top of things, it's probably something that I would put off for a few months, just because I have not really gotten deep into a Rockstar made game since Grand Theft Auto 4, and even then that was almost entirely based on character and story, and certainly not gameplay or mechanics. So uh like, for me, I'm curious, and I want to see it, but it's almost like a for like an academic purpose, more than excited about this thing, because I really don't know what to expect anymore. Like, Rockstars got it in their head at some point that they needed to simulate real life as much as possible instead of making games that are fun. And I don't expect this game to be very fun or accessible to play. And what I mean by that is, I you know the way that Rockstar mission design in the last 15 plus years has been, oh, put one toe out of line and you fail the mission because you're not doing as directed, because we know best, right? um but I just wonder what's gonna happen with this launch. Because even if you see like interviews with people at like Take Two and whatnot, they're clearly expecting something nigh impossible, which is to surpass what GTA 5 did, and like in a short time frame. And the thing about Grand Theft Auto 5's sales numbers is that so much of them are propped up by people just rebuying the game to get like those free shark bucks for Grand Theft Auto Online. And you also have to keep in mind that like that game came out in 2013, and even then there had been a good amount of time between GTA 4 and 5. And I would hazard a guess that there's like an entire generation of gamers who have zero affinity with Grand Theft Auto at this point, because the last game came out when they were too young to play it, and it even though it's still like around because of Grand Theft Auto Online and stuff like that, it's just not something that's in their wheelhouse, and they're not excited for this. And how many people who would have been excited for GTA 6 have fallen out of gaming in the last 12 years, 13 years, or died, right? Uh it's a weird thing, and I think that no matter what it does, it could very well be the biggest media launch in history. And I mean media period, not just video games. Like movies, television, music, video, like it could be the biggest thing ever and still be considered a failure as far as the suits are concerned. But even if somehow it attains all that, I think at the end of the day, I just don't see a lot of people that really seem to want it. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And I think that all of these games getting out of the way of November are making a mistake, right? Fable delayed out of November into next year because they were afraid of Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, a lot of these September games wanted to launch before GTA 6. And the thing is that there's really nothing coming out anytime soon that's doing anything close to what a GTA game does. The closest thing that's come out in recent months that approaches what a GTA game does is Mind's Eye from last year. And obviously that didn't that didn't do shit, right? Nobody cared. So I think that there's a lot of room for people to launch even the same day as GTA 6 and be very successful because of it. Because not only are you going to have plenty of people that just could not care less about Grand Theft Auto 6, uh, but might even want to buy a competitor's game simply out of spite, like which is a weird thing to say, but I think that's very valid. But also plenty of people who would buy GTA 6, but then knowing that that game's going to take them a few months to really chew through because there's so much that you can do. I'm sure it's going to be a massive game, even setting the online component aside. Uh, there's going to be people who would like to have something else alongside that, right? Fable actually, I think, would have been a perfect companion to GTA 6, where I could have seen myself, you know, putting an evening into GTA 6 and then being like, okay, that's good. I want to go fart around in Albion for a day or two and then come back to GTA 6 and kind of go back and forth. Uh, and I think people are missing, like Phantom Blade Zero is another one, right? That one I think could have been a good game to go in the same time slot, or Silent Hill Township, because it's a horror game. It's probably also short, so it's like something that people might want to kind of do in small sessions in between longer GTA sessions. But yeah, I just think that there's more opportunity there. And like I always think back to my retail days when the Dreamcast launched, 1999. We sold so many Dreamcasts that day, and we would typically sell 1 to 2 Dreamcast games along with those consoles, right? And most of what we were selling was like Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure, or Ready to Rumble Boxing, right? Or some mixture of those. Those were like by far like our our biggest sellers for the Dreamcast, for the launch day. But we also nearly 1 to 1 with our Dreamcast sales sold a copy of Final Fantasy VIII, because that also came out the same day. Because for a lot of people, I mean, that was obviously a hugely anticipated game, but also with the Dreamcast, I mean, launch games were launch games. And especially the Dreamcast launch games were pretty shallow. Like I mean, not shallow. They were arcadey games for the most part. So they were like the types of games that you're gonna play for a couple hours straight, maybe a little bit more than that. But you're not gonna like necessarily be chewing on those regularly, like for every single game session for the next month, unless you're like super competitive on a fighting game like Soul Calibur, right? And it's like that's like the only thing that you and your friends were doing. But for most people, it was like, yeah, I have Final Fantasy VIII, and that's like the main game that I'm going to be playing. And then in between sessions of that, I'm going to be like going through Edge Master mode on Soul Calibur or what have you, or going up the ranks in Ready to Rumble Boxing, or finishing the story of Sonic Adventure. But those were very like different types of experiences going on, and they complemented each other really well. And I think that's really kind of what I'm getting at here. Besides my thinking that, and again, this may just be what I'm seeing, and I'm be, it's definitely a much more mainstream game, right? But I am going to be very curious to see what happens when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and what the reception is. Um, I'm sure it'll still be the biggest thing ever, but I would not be surprised if it ended up being an oddly subdued release based on expectation. But just a thought. And those are my thoughts, not your thoughts, because if they were your thoughts, you'd be me and I'd be you or some shit. But I'll see you next time. Bye.